I'm Wildcat JF. This is just an attempt to do this video kind of over. I recorded some stuff earlier in the week, and it seemed really abstract. Finn is hungry. He thinks it's dinner time when it's 5, when it's dinner time at 7. So he's just going to have to wait a little bit longer. Yeah? Yeah, but you're a great co-host. Yeah, you sure are. So I think what I'm going to do is talk about a couple games that I've been playing, and then try to be a little bit more succinct about what I originally recorded on Monday regarding USGamer. And then part 2 will be looking at my Good Smile Fire Emblem Three Houses Idle Guard Figma figure that I received on Monday. And any other pickups I might have gotten this week. So let's go ahead and start. I've been playing XCOM 2 like nobody's business. It's such a great game. Even in this compromised Switch port that is not optimized as well as it could be, has horrendously long load times, like a minute, sometimes 2 minutes to get from the Avenger. I don't remember what they call the ship now. It's been a bit since I played it. I think it's the Avenger. To a battlefield to get to the loading screen that actually gets you to the map. What's up? You're gonna get on camera. You're gonna get on camera because you're being shenanigans. Yeah. Where was I? The loading screens are bad. XCOM Enemy Within and Enemy Unknown on the PS3 were also problematic. They weren't optimized super great for that platform either, but they did kind of set my expectations for the Switch port of XCOM 2 basically being the way that it is, and I'm fine with it because the gameplay is so good that I can overlook these bad load times, the somewhat blurry graphics, the higher rate of glitchiness, seeing an enemy ragdoll multiple times in the same place, resetting each time I switch a character. I'm totally fine with it, because Enemy Unknown and Enemy Within on the PS3 was the same way, practically. Maybe not so long on the load times. But what Firaxis has built is so engaging and so well constructed and so fun that I can overlook all of these technical problems, these incredibly long load times, and I put in. Okay, so I played through XCOM 2 Vanilla with the DLC that came with it. So I did that in probably about 20 hours. I decided, I'm going to take a little break, come back to that, War of the Chosen maybe next year. Then I started watching Waypoint play XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. And I heard the siren call, so I pulled it back off the shelf, put it back in, booted up War of the Chosen, and started that campaign. And it's the better one. I think that a lot of what War of the Chosen does makes the front end of the experience much more engaging and much more thrilling, because you have to deal with the 3 chosen assassins on top of everything else, and they made some nice refinements. They added 3 new classes and an entirely new resistance system, and Finn loves it too. 10 out of 10. Cato voiced. And on top of the other stuff that War of the Chosen adds, I think that just having more characters, like outside of the soldiers that I created, all based on this webcomic for the War of the Chosen campaign, and Isolate for the XCOM 2 campaign, because I like putting my own characters into games. I didn't realize this initially, but as I was playing through, watching Waypoint play, they mentioned that a lot of Star Trek The Next Generation actors were cast in these new Resistance roles, and yeah, they totally were, and it's kind of cool, because I grew up with that show, and it's neat hearing those voices again, in a slightly different context. But I will say that I did get through that campaign. That probably was another 25 to 30 hours to do that, because the Chosen added a good chunk of stuff. And then once I beat that, I was like, okay, I think I can say I'm done with XCOM for a while. And then I wasn't done with XCOM for a while, because as I kept watching Waypoint play through War of the Chosen, it just, like, I loved the gameplay loop so much in this game that I wanted to keep going. So I jumped back into an earlier save and basically hit a point where I annihilated the avatar progress. There's no avatar progress. All of the Chosen are dead. All of the research experimental aliens are dead. I have all of the extra gear that comes with defeating them. All of my soldiers that I use pretty regularly are all maxed out. And I'm just starting to see a lot of the same maps and mission types come back up. And there's, like, I'm basically overpowered unless I accidentally get a little too headstrong and throw a unit in front of a sectopod without being able to defeat it. And even then, like, I have the super good armor and all that stuff now. So that's the long way of saying that XCOM 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. It jumped up to number 5 on my top 111. And it really outclasses Enemy Within, which I'm surprised how much XCOM 2, and specifically War of the Chosen, overshadows the last game, which was number 6 on my list, and now is, I think, at 20. I don't remember its exact placement, but it's still a wonderful game, but XCOM 2 is so much better. And then I got Sakuna of Rice and Ruin last week as my unboxing showcased. And that game is really interesting. It's really, really cool. You play as a goddess of rice who is incredibly spoiled because she has not had to work for anything because of her parents doing so well at what they did. And then humans end up in the lofty land? I don't exactly remember what they call it. They end up in the gods area of the two worlds that co-inhabit Sakuna and cause some mischief and destroy the rice offering to the primary goddess. I can't remember her name. So Sakuna is punished for many things and is sent to Demon Island to raise a new crop of rice, and goes with the humans that she let into the lofty realm, who over the course of the game, Sakuna is forced to do labor and hunt, because the humans are they're not all like, they're all just kind of downtrodden people that have had really rough lives and no real opportunity to build skills that would be useful in this situation. And part of what the game is about is Sakuna developing a relationship with these characters and helping them become reach their potential, much like she is doing at the same time. So there's three main parts, we'll say. So there's the rice part, which I'll get to in a bit. There's the action part, which I'll get to in a bit as well. And then there's just kind of this middle ground, which is Sakuna interacting with the humans and walking around like the hub area where they live and where you do the rice stuff. But it's like you can upgrade your weapons and upgrade your gear, your clothing, and other accessories. You can set the menu for the day, hunt down frogs and snails and spiders to help protect your rice, find miscellaneous foodstuffs like plums hanging out in the area. So this is like it's like a 3D Zelda-esque area where you're just kind of wandering around freely. The rice element is probably the most fascinating part, and the developer Edelweiss, they did their research. Like, they went to Japan's Agricultural Institute, they went to rice farms, and studied how they were doing their patties. They grew their own rice in their house. They spent years perfecting how to do this in-game, and it shows because it's meticulous, it's detailed, and it's really interesting because you have to go through the entire process of fertilizing the patty, planting each seedling of rice, making sure that the patty is filled with the right amount of water, weeding it, making sure pests don't get in there. You have to then reap the rice, dry it, take it into the storehouse, and then you have to shuck the rice. Then you have to prepare next year's seeds, and then you have to prepare the patty once again after the winter. And it's a seasonal thing, so you're going through each season having to do particular things. But in the midst of all this, while you're growing the rice, you get the opportunity to explore the area and try to root out the demon infestation. So there's an action game element that's a bit like Muromusa the Demon Blade, but it controls a little bit smoother. And you have like a Bionic Commando raiment, so you can grapple onto enemies and onto the environment, which is a lot of fun. And it's very responsive. It's got a nice combo system. I'm still kind of learning how to piece moves together because there's a couple moves that just kind of is one swing and then you stop. But once you actually get the chains together, it's a lot of fun. And I'm enjoying seeing Sakuna develop as a character. She starts out incredibly unlikable. When you first meet her, she's totally wasted. And then when she gets punished, she throws a temper tantrum, and basically it's a learning opportunity. And that's a very risky decision to make as a developer, to have a character incredibly flawed right off the get-go. And they've done a good job with the casting. Sakuna's voice actress is really good. She's captured like the spoiled element really well as like the thoughtful, ruminating Sakuna that is showing now that I've gone through a year. The music is spectacular. I love the art style. It's just a really cool game, and it's doing well, which is awesome. Japan has had incredible sales of the game. Apparently it's done really well in America too. I've heard Exceed comment that Switch was doing 2-to-1 over the PS4 version of the game. And if it wasn't for Nintendo saying, this is a cool idea, we want this on our system, we wouldn't have gotten it on the Switch. And that decision really paid off for them. I'm just really pleased with that experience so far, and I'm looking forward to digging into it more. I am getting Legend of Zelda Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity, to be 100% authentic to what the box says. on Friday, but I'm not really sure if I want to jump right into that yet, because I'm very intrigued by the world that Sakuna has presented, and kind of looking forward to getting into it more. And I think that's going to be a good spot to end my my two little reviews. I'm going to pause this for a second for a little interlude. We'll jump to Idleguard, unboxing that, and then we'll come back to here and I'll do my little USGamer discussion. What's going on out there? Flavors. You're getting perked up about something. I don't see anything. Alright, welcome back to Levels Plus Weekly. Finn and I are both excited to unbox something here, so let me work on the focus. That looks a bit better. So I mentioned on Levels Plus itself that I got an unboxing video for my Good Smile Idleguard figure, and that's what's in this box. And I'm very excited to actually open it, because I ordered this thing almost a year ago. And I really like what Good Smile makes. They make really nice toys, so I'm particularly excited about getting my hands on this. So, paper out. There it is. Sure, there's nothing that exciting in here. Oh, just a bunch of paper. Exciting for cats. Not so exciting for anyone else. So, let's go ahead and bring this down and get it out of here. Oh, that's paper. I thought it was going to be something else entirely. Alright, so let me go ahead and show off the box. Idleguard's one of my favorite characters in Three Houses, but not my absolute favorite. That would be Petra, and I have a feeling that Petra is pretty low on the list of figures. In fact, they haven't announced another Three Heroes figure since they announced Idleguard. Very hard edit there, sorry. A lot of the footage after pulling the figure out of the box was a bit rough. We've got this guy. So I've got Idleguard. There we go. Posed here with the two axes that she came with. Amir, if I remember correctly how it's pronounced, and a killer axe. She comes with a bunch of hands, a different face that's a little bit more, I'm gonna hit you with something, than the one that I currently have on her right now. But she's really, really posable. Figma figures have a lot of different articulation points. So, like, I briefly had her doing a overhead swing with the killer axe. But I figure I might as well, since I'm in Figureland, and Idleguard's my newest one, that I'd show off the other Figmas I have too, although they're kind of buried. So there's one of the Splatoon ones. And then the other one is right here. And then the other Figma that I have is Samus, who is hanging out right there. All of them are great. I love each single one of them. While we're on the topic of Good Smile, I'll go ahead and show off the Nindon droids I got. Nindo droids I think is what they're called. So there's the Guardian from Breath of the Wild. And then I've got Link from Majora's Mask. And then over here, somewhere, there we are, I've got this Kirby. The Kirby was actually one of my favorite ones. He's kind of buried in there, but his limbs are magnetic, and he's just a gigantic magnet ball. So you can just adjust his limbs how you see fit, and it's really cool. I like him a lot. So I've got several more of these coming. I've got an Amaterasu from Okami Nindo droid coming next month, probably. And then I also have ordered the 2 Silent Hill re-releases that are coming out next year for Pyramid Head and the Bubblehead Nurse. I'm very excited about those because I love Silent Hill. It's just arguably my favorite survival horror series. Because I don't really consider Dead Space to be survival horror. It's definitely more of an action game. But actually having something on my shelf for Silent Hill is really, really going to be awesome. And then I literally last night ordered the 2 Figma Off the Hook figures that they just announced. So they come with the set, and I love Pearl and Marina. I do have their amiibo buried in here, so there's Pearl, and Marina is kind of hiding behind Idleguard here. Marina is one of my favorite characters in all of games, so I just couldn't say no. But that's next August, so I think I'll be all right. But yeah, I'm very happy to have Idleguard here, to have a little 3 houses representation in my toys. So I did get something else this week. I did get Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity right before I started editing everything. So I thought I would go ahead and throw that in here. I have no idea what's going on. Hello, bud. He's still convinced it's 7 o'clock. But, you know, he's a good co-host. USGamer on Monday. They haven't directly announced it on the site proper yet, but basically Kat Bailey, the editor, and Nadia Oxford, Matthew Olson, Eric Von Allen, and I'm going to say that's the current staff, all announced that at the end of the year, USGamer is done. And they're all going to be out of work. And I'm very shocked, and yet not shocked at the same time. First of all, before I dive in really deep here, I do want to send my condolences to the staff of USGamer. They've all done wonderful work. I've been following them since this site opened back 6 years ago. And watching it evolve and seeing it's basically had Kat running it, I want to say, for the last 3 years. And I think she's done a wonderful job as editor-in-chief. And the staff that they've built has been solid. I've not always agreed with some of the things that they've posted or some of the reviews that they've done. I particularly took some umbrage with the Gris review, which shouldn't be a surprise considering. But, you know, as a whole, I really enjoyed what they brought to the table. And it was great seeing a woman in charge of a major video game outlet. That's really great. And at one point, there was probably as many women on the staff as there were men. And that's great. That was about as equal opportunity as it gets. Plus, they were diverse. They had people of color on the staff in important roles. It was basically like the platonic ideal of what a gaming website should be in terms of the staff layout, in my view. But the writing has been, I think, on the wall for a while. We had Katie McCarthy. She left in the summer to join Apple Arcade. And then a few of the staff, like the staff writers and guides writers, they got let go, I want to say, in early September. And then Mike Williams, the reviews editor, announced last Friday that he was going to a new gig. So it just seemed really conspicuous that so many people were abandoning ship. And now we know why. But Nadia's Twitter confirmed that the site's closing. They will keep the archive up, which is good because we don't need another 1UP situation where all of the material that was on 1UP is gone. And trying to find anything that they published, including like interviews with Japanese musicians that are incredibly hard to have any other input on in English. That's one of the reasons why I've stopped. I'm kind of dialing back on some of my music articles. Is like trying to find information is very difficult, and increasingly so as these sites get bought out and lose their autonomy and eventually lose themselves. But this really struck me on Monday, and I recorded what ended up being almost like a 30-minute just breakdown of sorts. But I don't think that's really respectful to what USGamer was, and so I wanted to kind of just start over and just kind of say that, you know, when I was young, when I graduated high school, my announcement when I got my diploma was that I was going into video game journalism. And that didn't happen, but it was a dream that I had since I got into reading Game Players and Next Generation. It just seemed like such a cool, awesome place to be, is to be writing about games all the time. And I found that outlet. I found it through Levels. So through the fan site opportunity that I gave myself, through my old tripod site, and through the WordPress site that I still have as Levels Plus. I've done exactly what I've always wanted to do as a hobby instead of as a career. And with my Patreon, I'm trying to, see if I can help fund the production of books based on my writing on my blog. So I'm kind of living that dream right now. But there's people that did go that path, I should say, that did choose, this is what I want to do. I want to write about video games for a major press outlet. I want to be a video game journalist. And what we're really seeing, especially in the last few months since COVID, and I don't care about saying COVID, YouTube, I'm going to say it. You can demonetize me all you want, I'm not making any money anyway. What COVID has done, it's slicing apart that industry in very, very cruel ways. There's a lot of people that I've followed over the years that have lost jobs, or that are in outlets that are downsizing, or have changed hands and the new owners are assholes. And what do you do? What do you do in that situation? I hate to say this, but I feel thankful that I chose a different path than video game journalism, the dream that I had for years. And that just really hurts me to say it, because there's people whose livelihoods have been lost because they chose that path. And COVID has just really exasperated that for me. And I have so many feels for all of these people that have lost or will be losing their livelihoods. And I wish everyone the best. I hope that they can find something in these increasingly more limited waters of video game journalism. And I hope that maybe something new can step up that can work out for some of these people, because they deserve work. They do good work, and they're not getting their due. And that's basically what I wanted to say. That's Levels Plus Weekly, episode 2. And it ends on a dour note, but that's just how it is sometimes. You can't always be happy. You can just strive to be in that space as much as you can. But I think part of what I've learned, especially in the last couple of months, is that you can take these negative moments and let them consume you, or you can take these negative moments and let them empower you. And I know that from my position as a straight, white, cis guy, it's easier for me to say that than for some of the people that I respect that are losing or have lost their jobs, that are people of color, that are people that are LGBTQ+, that are women. I am aware of that, and when I say that, I mean that in the absolute best way possible, that I hope that they can take this opportunity to find something better, because they truly do deserve better than how they've been treated. All right. Well, next week is Thanksgiving week in America. I don't think I have any pickups coming, so we'll talk about probably some other stuff. I'm brainstorming ideas all the time. This has been a really nice way for me to kind of get myself back into Levels Plus. I think I needed a writing break, and this is giving me an opportunity to talk about stuff that I love and am passionate about, and it's also helping me want to get some of these little nooks and crannies of updates and stuff done, and especially with the second book. And I think that's actually a great topic for next week, is talking about First and Frequent Fantasy, how the book's coming along, and what's going on with Famicom's book. I think that would be fun. So I think we'll do that next time. But for now, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and take care.